Hello, everyone. So I just put a little note in the chat for some pre-meditation conversation. How is the end of your summer? Here in the Washington, D.C. area, it's been very warm, very, very warm summer. Today, a slightly cooler day. I hope you can hear me well. Let me also ask that. Can you hear me clearly? I'm using these microphones and the AirPods to hopefully exclude some noise farther away and be clearer. Great idea. I'll mention this again. It's a great idea as you're before coming to sitting. Maybe not true in my younger years, but in these years, finishing my sixth decade, I guess. Yes. To stretch out a little bit, to move a little bit before we sit, even for a short sit as we do. When you take longer meditation sittings, half hour, 40 minutes, so it's an endurance of sorts. A kind of physical conditioning is needed for that sitting to be comfortable throughout, to allow us not to be distracted by the discomfort. Sometimes just the morning routines that we have, taking care of our pets, mine is unloading the dishwasher. We can be aware of how we're moving and really sense into the stretches and balancings and align. Again, something I didn't notice as much in my younger years when that all was easier, but as the body changes, it changes. It changes our need to be aware more. At least for me, maybe your experience is different. I wondered, I asked my hairdresser who owned his own salon and closed it, I hope, for a nice retirement last April, that he's on his feet so much. I asked him what he did to keep conditioned, and he danced. He danced. One of his joyful activities. Little Rue, who I'm usually looking toward over there, is not here this morning. He's relaxing with my husband. But he might join us. The door is a little bit ajar. He might join us. So glad to be here with you this morning, as I always am, for these Sunday meditations. And do check our website. Oh dear, I didn't check. I don't think we'll be here next Sunday. I think we're taking a week off. And I'll tell you what's going on in this week. So welcome to Sun and Moon Yoga Studios YouTube channel. Good morning. here. Morning, at least live, to those of you who are joining. Good morning, Dina. Good morning, Mary Beth. And welcome to all of you. My name is aLex Levin. This week, our Sun and Moon Yoga Studio is completing our summer session. We run our yoga studio as in quarters. You can have monthly passes or unlimited passes for a month, or flex passes and bliss passes, two different kinds of ways to pay. And you can register for our quarters. And before we start our fall quarter, back to our Zoom classes on September 8th, just after Labor Day, we're debuting a Yoga Fest. And our friends, our teachers, our mentors from all over the planet are joining us. Some will be live and some recorded, as well as our own yoga teachers from our community, to offer hour and 45-minute special workshops, little snippets. I'm offering one that incorporates emotion and thought into our yoga practice, embracing the touchy-feely, and many more. Kira Sloan will be joining us. We've got Asya doing a singing bowl workshop, so that's a great treat. And do check our website. We've got lots of great offerings coming up. So this week for our sit together, my theme, the last one for the summer from the last of the guidelines for living, the niyamas, is in Sanskrit, Ishvara Pranidhana. Letting go, surrendering to your idea of the divine. And one of my favorite interpretations of this is from Chip Hartranft's, hard to pronounce his last name, Chip Hartranft's interpretations of the Yoga Sutra, orienting toward the ideal of pure awareness. Orienting toward the ideal of pure awareness. It follows, it's a lovely trio, the last three niyamas that can be a guide for any endeavor that you would like to move toward. The first is what I call showing up, the discipline of tapas, the heat, the effort required to show up for what we're committed to. Long after what's the quote I heard? Long after the passion, when you have a certain passion for your commitment, that can fade, but it becomes a little harder when the excitement of it is past, and we the energy for it may wane, and so it takes some fortitude in remembering what we want. And the next one is our self-study, our study of all the wise beings before us who tread this path, and the texts that they've left us, the poetry, and looking to that to inspire us and to help us show up, to help us rekindle that passion. And oftentimes, many of us teachers, when we share when we can't think of something, we don't know, or we lose our creativity, we seem to have lost touch with it. Just opening a book, or some notes we took from a workshop, or some poetry can inspire us. And so there's seems to be those two steps take action on our part, take effort, take a vigilance, take a willingness to be attentive. And this third step is that we just stop, that we let go of all of that gripping, reaching, seeking. And it's a whole third of this trio. That's a big amount. And in itself, it's I'm flirting with, the more I can Really let go. And we do this, my favorite, one of my, there's two ways that this happens in daily life. One, when we've misplaced something. And I love to watch myself, how often I want to blame somebody else in the household, somebody else who's been here. They must have taken it. They must have moved it. Some child that was here was playing with it. And I let it go. I let go of the looking for it for a little while. I let go. And all of a sudden, I remember I left it in my jacket pocket. That's where it is. That ring or that necklace or something, or those keys. Another way we see this is those of you who are crossword puzzlers or Sudoku puzzlers or puzzles of any kind, working at it and working at it. And then you step away for a while and you get that aha moment. It comes back to you. So I think we're all familiar with that. So let's set up our feet. And you that already. And a nice thing you can do for yourself, you can do it while I'm talking in this beginning of my Dharma talks or our preparation, our theme. You can do it before you join us. It's nice to stretch your body out a little, do some movements that help to bring awareness and little wake up the flexibility of the joints so that it sometimes can help our sitting be more easeful as we launch into it. And so I begin the timer of our 12 minutes. You settle into your seated shape, ground, sound, breath. Perhaps you share this mantra with me. So those first moments can be really settling in and truly tuning in to this place, this seat, this place you are on our lovely planet that you've never been before. Yes, you've kind of been in this spot in my sunroom many times, but never in this particular configuration, with this particular set of cells at this moment. And so we truly feel to how the feet, whether you're in a chair or on the ground or sitting on the ground, how does the weight of your right foot receive the gravitational hug of earth? Effortlessly. We can let go into the shape once we align it just right. How does the pelvis settle? As perhaps you've played with the forward and back tilt a little side to side, noticing how firmly the left side of the pelvis settles all that's above it on the left side, all that's above it down to root energetically into the earth. How does the right side, as the streams of gravity, invisible but so palpable, are coming down, 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 down through the body? How do you sense the center line? Just in front of the spine and that stream, that river between right and left. One tool for aligning with the ideal of pure awareness could be coming to this central channel. It helps us ground down. So very simply put, we sit, we find our physical seat in the ground, and gravity and her complementary force of what I call levity, upward buoyancy. And I find the more I allow myself to settle downward, which for a time, even in this sit, you might even slouch, maybe just inwardly, but maybe even outwardly, like slouch and bow, to truly surrender to the gravitational pull. Perhaps spend about 8 or 10 breaths in the slouch, in the letting go, stopping all the effort and letting go into gravity. And then tuning in a little bit more to the breath and sensing the buoyancy that arrives with the inhale, without losing the letting go of the exhale and downward pull. So the inhale, the buoyancy of the breath in, can help us feel how our body lifts and expands. And breath being one part of this, these three pillars of this mantra. You can always come back to any of these three. If you seem to lose your bearings. And then sound, the code word, sound. Evokes listening, evokes the hearing sense. In some ways, the most subtle, the quietest. There's a certain fire to looking, so part of why we close our eyes or have a downward, soft, unfocused downward gaze in meditation is that more quiet feel. But it's paired for me, and as I've been taught, the sound is really paired with space around space. So, in our minds, even as we're right here, we can reach around with our senses to the left, to the right, in front and back. We can sense the space close around us and feel the freedom of that and the support of that. We can sense farther in front, back, to the sides, really to infinity. And the possibility and support of that. And then possibly without losing a bit of awareness of the space around, sound and space around, we can come inward, sensing the breath into under the envelope of our skin. Sensing the space of our deep belly, of our bones, of our heart. So temporarily in the stream of time, we stop, bringing us to the now moment, into the presence, the present and presence that's never not here. Spatially, we let our bodies be still, also helping us to become more and more familiar with this vaster aspect of ourselves, as it allows us that space, like the astronauts saw in the famous photo Earthrise in the 60s, the photo of the earth. We have a very different sense of ourselves when we come to stillness and silence and allow ourselves to feel the spaciousness, the continuity from in to out and out to in. Bringing right and left palms together in front of the heart. And so when we stop and when we slow down, we can feel the various kinds of spaciousness, even as the separate hands come together. Different shape, a different signature, but another way of experiencing space and presence. So I wish you many moments of pausing. It's a great practice to just pause for a few breaths, 3 breaths. You can make it a practice throughout the day. And you can shift your attention to um, something beautiful around you, or something you're grateful for, or something you're curious about, and extend a open, spacious heart and curiosity, wonder and awe. Thanks so much for being here with me today. And we'll be back 10 o'clock Sundays. I believe Sunday the 6th of September 2020, we won't be here, but we might be. So you might tune in. I might just record one and have it there available for you. Thank you for being here. Ciao, ciao. Enjoy your day.